Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inspired with Christopher Williams. I am your host, Christopher Williams, navigator and motivator on the path of you achieving your goals. I want to thank everybody for the positive feedback I've been getting from the show. You guys seem to really like what you see, and that is the point. So keep the information coming, keep the feedback coming. And like I said, always drop me a line if you want to see something specific that we haven't covered yet on the show. I know we cover a lot of great things, and some people have even told me, we've been, you hit everything that I wanted to talk about. I had some questions about that, and you covered it on the show. I appreciate it. So you're welcome. But hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're going to keep the content coming. Like I said, always feel free to reach out to me, onewilliamsenterprises.com, onewilliamsenterprises@gmail.com, and facebook.com/Williams Inc. I'm always there, always willing to help you, always willing to come see you if need be. Any type of engagements that you need me to come to, hey, let me know. I'll be happy to come see you guys, all right? What we're going to get into today is something called branding, okay? Now, most people know branding, and you think, well, what does he mean? Is he talking about, like, other companies or anything like that? Well, that's sort of the case, but we're going to put a little spin on it for you today, okay? So you can kind of apply it to your specific situation. So when you think of branding, you think of companies, you think of people like Reebok, you may think of companies like Facebook, even Apple Computers, those type of things. Those are all good brands. But the idea of a brand is very simple. So most brands have something very distinguishable about their company. So a brand could be stated like this: any product, symbol, or characteristic that distinguishes your service or your business from that of another company. And the thing to remember about brands, as I'm sure you guys know who have your own brands that you like, some people prefer to use Nike or Reebok or Under Armour for their athletic goals, is that a lot of times the brand speaks louder than the product itself, right? So when you think of Nike and you think of these things, you automatically think, well, Nike, just do it, right? So you think of that before you even think of the fact that Nike also sells socks. They also sell, batting equipment for baseball players. It's not just one sport, it's multiple sports. But when you think Nike, you think of slogans right off the bat. Or when somebody says McDonald's, right? You automatically think of the slogan, or you think of the colors before you even think of the fact that, oh yeah, they also actually sell food. So this is something to let you know how powerful brand recognition is. Now the thing to also remember about brands is that they speak to the company. A lot of times they'll speak to a company's ethics, a company's morals, a company's values. So this is also very key to remember when you're thinking about your own company's brand. Because most of the time what you're going to find is that most people are going to be able to attach a value to your company before they even remember some of the things that your company may offer. So this is why this is very important in regards to how you present yourself, how you present your company. Now, the key to branding is that you want it to be effective, okay? Now, there are a couple key points to effective branding, right? Effective branding engages your audience, okay? A lot of times when it comes to a brand, it's something that people can relate to, right? People can see how it ties into them personally. A lot of times people internalize things. So when you think of a good brand and when you think of how you're promoting your brand, consider your audience. Okay, you want to make sure that your audience, those who you're selling to, your key customers, they can relate to it and they can actually tie it into their daily lives. So you want to make sure that it's something that your audience can relate to. You also want to make sure that your brand is also something that people can truly take in upon themselves. Okay, most of the time people see brands as a part of what they like to do in their off time, or a lot of times they like to see brands as something that they can use on a regular basis. So you want to make sure that not only do you engage your audience, you want to make sure that your audience can directly relate to your brand. And not only that, you want to make sure that you take advantage of the fact that this brand that you're building is going to be something that they can tell their friends about, okay? Most of the time, people who feel passionate about something are going to talk about it. So you want to make sure that it's something that they can explain, something that they can exactly give, feelings about, something that they can truly promote for you, because that's the main point of it. You want your brand to speak for you. Now, a lot of times when you're not doing it right and when your brand's really not what you want it to be, you'll be able to tell. Okay, a lot of times when people think of brands, sometimes it speaks more to something that they don't like. I'm sure you guys have all had experiences where you've done something or you've seen someone do something and that traveled a lot faster than something good they did. You have to remember that too, because when people don't like a product or service, they're going to talk about it, they're going to tell everybody. Especially now with social media, it gets around very fast. So make sure that you're doing the right things and that you're using those right mediums, okay? And another few things about a brand that's really not effective is it lacks originality, right? You don't want to seem like everybody else. You want to stand out. So when you're thinking about your brand and how you're going to market it, not only that, what your brand is going to be, make sure it doesn't lack originality, okay? Even if it's not what's popular, at least it's going to be different. And you want people to remember you instead of remembering General Mills or Nike. But you want them to remember you and for your product and for your service, okay? Because that's what's going to take you the furthest, is how different you are from your competition. And when I speak to blending in, you want to make sure that when you're selling yourself and also when you're creating this, that you're not using a lot of common strategies, you're not using a lot of common selling strategies, because everybody's already doing that, okay? So make sure that when you're creating your brand, make sure that it's different. Put your own spin to it. And make sure that it's something that you can be proud of. Okay, so let's recap. What makes a brand a brand? Okay, so when you think about this, you want to make sure that it's something unique. It's something that can be different from everything else that's going on. You want to make sure that it targets a specific niche. Okay, make sure that you've segmented it enough that where you can actually capture your audience. Make sure that your audience is able to connect with you, and make sure that it's something that you can build a solid reputation on. Once you have a solid platform, there's no limits to what you can build upon. And also, you can capture that extra audience out there that you may not even realize you have. Some people may be interested in you because you live in a certain area or because your business supports something specific. And next thing you know, guess what? That's extra business, that's extra support, and that's extra audience that you have. So all these things are great things to remember when you're looking at brand recognition and you're looking at creating your brand. We want to take a minute to thank our sponsors for supporting the show. And when we do that, we're going to come right back with more Inspired. So stick around.
10 years to learn the business. 10 years to make a name. 1 year on your own. It takes time to build a small business, but only 60 days to transform it with email marketing from Constant Contact. Sign up with Constant Contact and get 60 days of free email marketing to generate referrals, connect with clients, and build the business you've always wanted. Constant Contact. Start your 60-day free trial today.
Today's point of power comes from the idea that you should only look back to see how far you've come along your journey. Life's going to have adversity. Life is going to have its challenges. But that doesn't mean you're supposed to stop. I can think back on my own personal journey and look at some of the things that I thought truly would halt my progress and was my sign to say, you know, I've brought this thing as far as I can, and it's time for me to take a break and stop for a second. But somewhere in that moment, I'm able to look back and I'm able to see moments in my past where I've said, you know, this is it. I need to just stop and do something else. And then I remember I overcame that. And I used that power in that moment to fuel myself for the journey ahead. That's how this is supposed to work. Life's going to throw punches at you. It's going to throw adversity at you. And you're going to sometimes wonder, is this where I'm supposed to stop? Is this as far as I can take this? But you're also going to remember, if I've overcome things before, I can surely overcome this. That's what makes you strong. That's what makes you mighty. And that's what gives you true power. Think of all those times where people may have told you you couldn't do it. People may not have saw your vision. People may not have understood what you really wanted to accomplish. People doubted your success, plain and simple. But that didn't stop you. You took that power that they gave you of negativity and you transformed it into something positive, and you use that to propel yourself to where you are today. You can do it, and it's possible. Remember that when you come upon these times, right? Things come to make you stronger, plain and simple. They don't come to make you weaker. They don't come to stop you. If you just train yourself to think in that way, you'll truly see how much power you truly have. And that'll propel you forward, and that'll also strengthen those around you, because they will look at you and say, wow, he still overcame that and he still achieved his goal in spite of all the stuff he was going through. And that's really what you want to do. Because at some point, you're going to want to add to your business, you want to add to your goal, and you're going to want to achieve another goal, right? There should always be a next best thing, or what's next, or what's coming later. And sometimes you're going to need people to help you with those things, right? No one truly trusts anybody who've never had to go through anything. They want to know what you've had to deal with, what you've had to come, how easy or how hard your road has been for you to get where you are today. Because I'm sure they've also gone through something. But like they say, iron sharpens iron. So as you go to that next level, as you propel yourself forward, and when you see adversity coming up on you again, think of this as actually a positive thing instead of a negative thing. If you really was not trying to do something different, if you really was not trying to strive to go forward, would you be facing any adversity? No, because you're laying stagnant. You're not doing anything. But because you're moving forward, and because you're achieving milestones, and you're on your way to accomplishing greatness, you're facing adversity. So that should be all the true motivation that you need to know that you're going in the right direction. People always are going to look for fault in something. That's just how things work sometimes. When people don't understand something, they're going to be fearful of it. So they're going to poke holes in things. But this is also something that you should use for your advantage as well. Despite the naysayers, despite the negativity, you're still able to push forward. That's all the power you need. You have the power that you truly need. And use that to push forward and accomplish everything that you truly want to accomplish. Not only now, but any other time something comes upon you. Just remember that you have everything that you need. And just move forward and accomplish your goals. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We've had a great show as usual. And take everything that we've talked about and apply it to your daily life. And not only that, use it to inspire somebody else. Always remember, you can get in contact with me, facebook.com/Williams Inc., onewilliamsenterprises@gmail.com, and onewilliamsenterprises.com. I'm always available. And let me know if there's anything you need help with, or if you want me to expound a little bit on something that we may have went over in the show. And let me know how you feel about the show. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you like it, and share the show with your friends, anybody that you know who could benefit from anything that we talk about. Feel free to catch up on the other episodes of Inspired with Christopher Williams, BizLinks TV, as well as YouTube. That way you can be caught up, and also you can leave a comment there as well. Until next time, stay inspired.